Good morning everyone. Well, today is the 15th of May 2023 and well, the sun is shining. It's a bit cloudy, but they do say for the next couple of days there's not going to be any rain. Now hopefully they got that right, because I really want to get this roof done. So my plan for today is get up on the top of that bus and finish off doing the little repairs. I bought some better tape to put over that rubber insert, which I'll show you in a bit, and then I'm going to stick on that resin roof paint. That should fix it. That's the plan, and we need to get this done now while the weather is good, and also it's not long now before I go on another camping weekend, so I definitely need to get that fixed. Right, first of all, let's get a ladder. Oh, need to mention that it's quite windy out there, so there might be plenty of wind noises on this little camera today, but fingers crossed you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, it is actually quite windy. Let's have a quick look inside. I've been in it for a few days. I could see a bit of a puddle on that ground sheet I laid in there, just in case that happened. Yeah, get the back side door slid open, and we'll just have a look at that little hatch and just check that it's managed to hold, and I'm going to try and open it and see what happened. Well, as you can see there, look, plenty of water's come in, and if you look up here you can see, if you look closely, there's a drip of water there, look. So it's come through there, and when we were on this roof I did notice that was kind of where this insert goes in, that was split around the edge, and there was actually a hole. So that's where the water's getting in there. Right, I'm going to attempt to open this. I need to use two hands because I don't want to lift one end up and rip it off, but seems like it's fixed on there. Seems like it's on okay, doesn't it? Right, let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to see or not, but here goes. Well, that's opened. It's held on there alright, and I think that is better than having them screws through it. So that's good. Yeah, that's held alright, innit? Super job. And I need to get this out without spilling it. You know I'm going to spill it, don't you? Right, I'll get rid of that, and then we'll get a ladder and get up on the roof. Right, I decided to soak it up with a cloth and wring it out, rather than trying to lift it out and spill it somewhere. Right, let's jump up on this roof. Right, so that water is coming either here, probably on that corner, or even gone down there, so that's one of the reasons I need to get this sealed up. The duct tape I did put round, it's more or less stayed there, isn't it? I took off all the loose pieces what the paint was on here. With this sun and wind, although it is windy, that's going to help dry this, which is good because I need it nice and dry. Although it says that will work on a damp surface, I don't really want to put it on damp. Take this duct tape off what I put on. So I don't think I need that. Surprising how hard that gets when you don't want it to, and another time that won't want to stick. So that's good. I'll be taking all that off. There's the hole I'm talking about. but I do think that's gone in either here or under this. I still need to remove some more flaky bits of paint around these rivets. I'm just going to get some sandpaper, I think, go over those. And then I'm going to check that weather forecast, because it does look like it could rain in a minute. And tomorrow and the next day, it's definitely said there won't be any rain. But like I said before, you can't believe them, can you? Right, I'm just going to go all over this and clean it, and then I'll decide whether to take this tape off before I carry on do anything else. And off this duct tape I put on, you can see it's soaking wet underneath, and that is what happens when the water gets in. So there's still a bit of cleaning up to do. That manky old rubber, bloody nuisance really. That's got to be done. I've got no choice, it's got to be done. Well, I'm going to get all this off. Hopefully it don't rain today and this wind will help dry it all out. That's the plan. Well, the sun is there, but look at these clouds. Just checked on the app, they said no rain today, and it's going to be breezy, cloudy, and then getting out quite sunny. But looking at this sky, I really am not so sure. I need to crack on. Right, so I've got all the tape off there now. I'm having a cup of tea. Now the sun has kind of gone behind all those dark clouds, and it's gone quite chilly. And I just don't know what to do, whether to hang on and see if they pass over, or whether to carry on. The one thing I do know is I need to get that really, really clean for the paint to stick properly. So I'm going to continue to clean it. I might get a bit of sandpaper in a minute and just go over the top of those rivets where I split in the paint and try and get the loose bits off before I even attempt it. And if I think it's going to be nice, then I'll make a start. And I think the first place I'm going to go is round the actual skylight. Just give it a coat round there, and then if I don't do any more, we'll see how that dries. But I really would like to get it all done. And I think a light sanding as well on the actual side parts there will help that paint stick, because I definitely don't want that peeling off. One, that'll look a mess, and two, I won't be doing the job I want it to do. Right, finish this tea and then I'll crack on. Well, this is the actual tape I've got. It's supposed to be super sticky, and I think the paint will get in there and stick really well. That's the idea. It's actually for sticking the gaps on your plasterboard and stuff, or doing repairs in broken plasterboard. But I really think it's going to do the job. It's supposed to be really strong, and well, whatever, we will see. Let's go peel a little bit off and have a look at it. Just peeled a little bit off. It's just really mesh. It's not going to be waterproof or anything, but I think that'll bridge over that rubber and the paint will soak in, making this really strong. That's the idea behind it. Whether it works or not will be another thing, but I'm definitely going to try this. I think that will just like give it some reinforcement. So I've just stuck a little bit on top of Bertie Bus over this rubber, which has perished to hell. And I think, like I said, the actual resin paint will go in them holes and hopefully form a nice strong bond over the top. Sounds like I know what I'm talking about, doesn't it? But there's only one way of finding out with this. Still need some loose bits to come off. I'm going to cut this back here and take these loose bits off, because everyone knows you don't paint over loose bits of paint. So I'll do that, and then I'm going to get some sandpaper and just go over these loose bits, and then I'll be ready. Sun's coming out again. So I'm going all over the top of these rivets, just getting the loose bits off, anything to make it a bit better. Hopefully that'll help seal it around this roof, all the loose and flaking bits off, of course. But look at that sky, black as hell again, and we did feel a couple of spits of rain, but that was a couple of minutes ago. Ain't done any more, so I'm hoping these clouds are just going to pass over. I'll carry on while I can. What I don't want is a big downpour, because that's just going to get all in these grooves, and I'm going to have to wait for it all to dry out again. Nuisance. But hey ho, I'll carry on. Well, it's definitely spitting rain now. You can see it on the skyline now. Hopefully it's going to pass real quick, not be a huge downpour. I've been all the way round now. The wind's got up again, and I can feel spits of rain. Look at the sky. I think this is going to be about it. I think I'm going to go around it now with a rag and try and get off all the loose bits, and then wait and see what happens with this weather. See if I can get this paint on today. I do hope I can. British weather, eh? I've done all I can now. I'm just going to have to wait now until this goes over, if it does, because it's pretty spread. But it's just annoying, really, isn't it? All this technology they got, and they still can't get the weather right. Never mind. I'll wait a bit and see what happens. Right then, while we're waiting for this clouds to pass over, I've been thinking for a little while now, let's get up here, about sticking my little solar panel on the back and then getting another one for the front, probably a bigger one. But I've been thinking how to fix it. I've got a little idea. I've got some plastic beading, and I think if I can come off this roof here and bring it straight ish, and then drop it into the gutter on the back here, I can then have a perch to put the panel on. It's only just a quick thing of that. Show you the plastic beading I've got a piece down here, look. Should be enough for two. So that'll come off the roof there somewhere, not exactly where yet, I'm just thinking about it. Put a sharp bend in it there, so it comes down into this gutter, so it comes up and then across to the roof. Got a hacksaw because this is easy to cut, because I've cut bits off before, look. So I'll just cut it down a bit, and then I'll get a blow lamp and heat it up, put a bend in it. That's the plan, and I'll see how that goes. That's what I'm talking about, look. Just heat it up. It's quite stiff plastic, what they stick round windows and stuff. Somehow fix that to the roof, and then there. Get two of these, one here and one here somewhere. I'll have to measure up, and then put the panel on this so it sits across, and that way if I can stick that onto the roof, I'm going to put a twist in that so that goes flat at this end here, so I can then glue that to the roof without use some of that grab or something. Maybe get some external grab, stick that on, and then my panel will sit onto it. Find up that panel, just see how that would sit on this, and then I'll make another one, and then we can have a look. You can see what I'm talking about then. Obviously it's got an edge on here, so that would be better to make one for that side and then make another one for this side. And the best thing about it, if it works, it costs me nothing, is it? And that's how we like to roll. I'm going to have to get some paint in here as well, that the paint's peeling off. Panel, it's not very big. I think it kicks out about 18 volts. And I've got a regulator inside the van which brings it down to 12 for the battery charging, blah de blah. I did have this, I just put it on a stand, but what I'm thinking is if I can leave it on the van, it'll save messing about and I'll be out of the way, and then get another one, maybe slightly bigger. I did manage to keep my battery charged last summer, and I was running my little fridge, so the weather was really sunny, but I don't think these give out many amps, but let's just help keep the battery topped up. And also that's what I'm thinking, just something like that. It's not even in the middle yet, I've just laid it on and measured it out or anything, although it doesn't look far out. And the idea is I can actually just leave that on the bus and it'll sit there like that. You see it's still raining now, little spits. I don't know whether to leave these pieces of wood on or whether to get rid of them and put them on the ends straight through the aluminium. It's going to move them apart now and I'll have a look, see what I think of that. Actually I do think that'll look better like that, plus it's more spread out. Let's have a look. Obviously them bits of wood wouldn't be there. And then this cable I'll just have to drop into here to go to the charger. But I can easily sort that out. What do you think? And like I've said many times, ain't really gotta please anyone else, only myself. If that'll work, I think that would work. I think the next task is get those pieces of wood out and then have another look, see what I think. So I've done some measuring. There's the middle, and that's how wide the panel is to the middle of this, so that's where they should be. I'll just lay that on there again and have a look. So after a little bit of time I've managed to get the self-tapping screws through the plastic. Well, I drilled the holes through the plastic and then marked, and then forced these self-tappers through the aluminium, so they seem quite strong. And this has got film on it, so I peeled it off and it's quite nice underneath. So I'll do the same with this side and then we'll check it and see how it looks before we try and get it in place. Difference where I've took it off here and peel it off this side makes it look a lot better, don't it? Lovely. I'll get the rest of this off and then we'll try fit it. Fingers crossed it won't look too bad. Well, just drop that on into place and yeah, it's quite good. I'm going to do the same probably when I get round to doing the front one. It's roughly in the middle. I'll have to bring it this way a touch, I'll have another measure up, but that is looking good, better than I thought. And it's far better to leave it out than keep getting it in, getting it out. And I can leave it connected all the time. Brilliant. Right, so I've put this on with self-tappets, but I've put loads of this clear silicone underneath around the self-tapping screws, and I'll put a little bit on the top as well, so there won't be any water getting in there. So now what I'm going to do is silicone this cable where I want it underneath. I'm going to use this clear silicone. We'll see how that works. Just got to find something to hold it up, see what I can find. Right, that's that finished now. I've this tape it's not going to stay there, it's not a repair. That's just holding this cable up where I've put in the clear silicone, and hopefully that should stay there. And the reason why I've done this is so when it rains the water will run down and drip off here rather than go down and rust this out again. Probably will one day, but try and prevent it a little bit with it going down here. Right, need to see whether this roof is dry now so I can crack on, get some of this sealant, roof seal on. Well, this seems to have dried off nicely now. I guess with the water on it, when I wiped it down, I took all the dust off, so it's ready to be painted. But what I want to do is just put that tape around here now, what I'm going to use. It's just still a bit damp in there. Bugger in it. This stuff does say it will work on damp, but it's got to be the drier the better, innit? So I'll put it up here and leave them corners for a bit, let them dry out a bit, and then we'll get this sealant on, especially around this hatch. Guys, I went all the way around this. I'm just going around this edge again, and I'm going to leave it and then give it another coat. I've hardly used any. Look how thick this stuff is. It's really weird. I think when I put the first coat on, I try to spread it too much, put it too thin. So I'm just going around where the seal is, round here, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll see how it dries. Probably give it enough coat. I've got enough of it. Look, it's going to go eventually like a plastic coat, and all these fibres bridge over any holes, so all them rivets now I'm putting it on top of, brushing it over. Look, should be sealed. Right, I'm going to carry on. It's warmed up really nicely at the minute, so I'll hopefully get this done, let it go off a bit and give it another coat. Brilliant. Right, I'll give it a coat. Let's go up and have a look. You can see the little fibres poking up everywhere. You just can't, well, it's like painted with shredded wheat. Anyway, I'll give it all a coat now. Obviously it's sinking into all those little holes on the tape. Definitely going to give it another coat. And I think if anyone's going to use this, I think you need to put it on nice and thick and just spread it. Like I said, I went over it too thin really to start with. I've just gone round this edge. Look at all the little flies, they love it. They're all got high on the fumes and then crash landed. But I'm going to leave it now. I don't know how long for. I'll give it a touch later just to see whether it's going to be able to be painted over, and I'll give it another coat, and then I'm going to leave it and say that's got to be sealed, innit? It's got to be. Morning guys, here we go again. So yesterday I give the top a coat of paint, or sealer, roof sealer, whatever you want to call it. I also finished this off, stuck this up with some silicone. Seems like it's going to stay there alright, I hope so. If not, we'll try it again. I'll put a couple of cable ties on here, and I've looped it round so the water runs down. Hopefully it'll run off here and not down into there. Right, so last night when I shut down this hatch, I noticed it's starting to crack away. So I'm not 100% happy with that. Let's have a look at this side. Yeah, splitting. Oh, it's come off. So that hasn't worked. It's a pity, but hey ho, what can you do? Hands up. An error. But I didn't want to have the big bolts through, so I'm going to see if I can find something better to put through there. Get them holes put in it. Actually, I might try and put some holes through it while it's in place, so I can see where they actually are. I think the reason it's done that is because when you lift, you can't do both once you do one side and the other side, and I think it's twisting, flexing, and just ripped off. If that was just stuck on and never opened, that'd have been fine, but with it flexing, that's just tore it off. Never mind, we learn by the mistakes. Right, let's see if I can find the drill and the drill bit, see if I can drill straight through there from the top, so I should be able to see where the holes are. And I know it's quite central. Go on with that. Well, cleaned all the stuff off these again. Kind of start again, innit? These like roofing bolts, they've got like a rubber washer on the back, little bolt, not anywhere near the size of the last ones, so if I can get these in, that'll be brilliant. Well, that's them through, look, and they're going to look good from above. Pity about this stuff, but trial and error, but it's not going to leak, that's the main thing. Right, just need to get these little washers and nuts on underneath. Skylight back in with bolts. Well, I just want to have a quick look at this. This is the controller from this little solar panel on the roof, and when this light is on, it's charging. And if you can see these little lights here, show the state of the battery, and you can see already the battery is full, so that's working wonders. So, as you can see, I'm now giving this a second coat. You couldn't use the brush you used yesterday, that was ridiculous. I think that would have actually been okay with just the one coat, but things I've got plenty. I want to go over, and also want to make sure I fill all these holes on this tape I put around the edge, just to make sure. And there's the top from the roof popped up. I didn't want to really put them in, did I? But there you go. If you look through there, look, Debbie's hard at work. She's putting up our kitchen tent because we've got some sealer we can spray on it, on the material, to hopefully make it better waterproof, but we'll see on that one. Right, I need to crack on with this. I've cleaned, well, there's another bit over there, bird scrap, flies and God knows what on here. I just need to crack on now and give this second coat. Right then, that's that done. A little bit fluffy in places, but I'm going to leave it now. I don't want to overdo it. If any water get in there, then I don't know what we'll do. I'm sure it's going to be perfect. Brilliant.